Stellaris DLC Tier list, what I would consider essential. Not that Stellaris is lacking without it, but that without the DLC, once playing it, it just doesn't feel right. The closer something is to the left, the higher it is in the tier. I also recommend getting all the DLC on sale, obviously for a cheap price, but Paradox is funny with pricing. I recommend checking Humble Bundle. This typically has good deals. First DLC is Utopia, offers a lot of different stuff, a whole new government type, Hiveman with a bunch of new civics, some new origins, new mega structures like a Dyson Spear and Ring Worlds. Cool stuff like it's alone will make it pretty good, but then you get advanced slavery, which yeah, it gives a bunch of new war crimes as well as a funny civic and queer files and just additional ways to handle pups. But what I feel like really makes this DLC for me is the Habitats Ascension Pass. Habitats are basically like custom worlds, with extremely useful, particularly if playing more tall, and the Ascension Pass, which gives tradition trees for each one. So for upgrading species, gives more of a game plan. They all say the same in terms of just buffs for your species, but they all have their own speciality. Although Psionic is pretty different, it allows you to do shroud interactions like communal, basically Chaos God, to do a bunch of wild stuff. Federations, let alone the 8 new origins, which are all pretty good. Mind you that if a DLC does give an origin, it's like 1 or 2. You also get Federation, specialized alliance between empires, to give a boost in whatever type it is, research, military, you get the whatever. You get the Galactic Immunity, which lets you pass laws to boost things you want, even sanction on members, and also a little political play along with the politics tradition tree, which helps with this. There you also got the mega shipyard mega structure, which fully built has 20 shipyards and gives the Empire wild speed, build speed buff, and the Juggernaut, which you think of as like a mobile star fortress that has 4 gun batteries and 2 shipyards, which can make ships upgrade Imperial itself and other ships. You also get a lot of neat expanded political play. The Juggernaut and mega shipyard both are useful and fun. Second tier is Neo Central. I would even consider it essential, but you could go without it. I would still prioritize the first two over this if you look for the DLC. Fact Paragods offers a lot of leader changes, giving them specializations and destiny traits, as well as more leaders and a lot more leader traits, as well as give you more options, just game wide, as well as agendas for each tradition, including DLC ones, which you get 2 new traditions, which Statescraft I pick up every single game. All 6 include DLC will give a council position, and Grand 6 having 2 more just adds a lot more to the base game, and I would almost put an essential tab, but it's not like 100% needed, but it is definitely really good. And that stuff along with the leaders is pretty good enough, but you're also going to be getting 6 new civics too, which you do need Megacorp, but the other 4 are available for every government type. But the DLC also gives you, in my opinion, the best origin in the game. Not power, but definitely isn't weak, and it gives you a lot of build options. And narrative, which also commonly being called the God Emperor origin, which is the best you want to cosplay as an Imperial man. It's also just a lot of build. It's what I use for most of my stuff, just because how many things you can do with it. Oh, a lot of 5 new origins. Although I only really like teachers of the Shroud Subterranean, there are new enclaves, the Shroud Walkers, Mixing Enclaves, and Space Salvagers, which I never spawn next to for some reason. There's also a good DLC if you want to lean into like a kind of like mercenary thing type of stuff, like a prime military company with essential perk of little work, which gives you one of these mercenary enclaves, which you create yourself, and they pay you more often. But the main, I think, draw of this DLC and where I think would make it near essential is the orbital rings, which are like half star bases that surround planets, that you can have typical modules and also special ones that provide big economical buffs to your planets. However, which makes something like a Theo Journey ship like half a year, which is pretty nice, especially when you're maneuvering ships or in like a war or whatever. The new vacillation types are also great. Nothing like too in depth, allows you to specialize them for something like resource or research, as well as like do more things for your agreements. Tier 3, not necessary, but I highly recommend Megacorp. The government type itself is a lot of fun, which gives you a bunch of unique civics and gameplay options, but unlike Highbind, you get to choose your ethics and you don't want to be a just out consciousness. You can act as like slave market, but you wouldn't do that, right? And Clave feats, which dicks purely to annoy you and pedal mostly your stuff. String more mega structures, although the only ones I really care about is the Matter Compressor, which gives you up to 2,000 minerals a month when fully built. Some of the new essential perks, although one of them isn't really new, it's what gives you the Matter Compressors as an option, like Dyson Spears and Wing World if you have Utopia installed. Universal transaction, which gives you better commercial packs and what kind of like like I think the best out of all of these is probably our college project, which makes you make a world like Coruscant, making these massive, big, just city planets with big districts, great bonuses, which alone could be, I think, to support both your consumer goods and ally production. Talk Story is really good, with one of the funnest origins Knights of the Talk about. This very narrative focused origin, which basically gives you a story, one of the whole objectives in the game besides just normal gameplay. Overtune offers some wild builds with the traits you get, and an overall fun origin to mess around with. The cosmetic stuff is really good and probably the most unique look at anything in the game. The civics are good in its species traits, which most of them you can use for any species. It's great content and probably one of the better price DLC. Not much more to say about it than just it's really good. Nothing super game changer mechanical, it's just really good content. Civic Dawn, it's mostly machine intelligence. I personally don't like it as much because comparatively more of the other civics are not as creative in its own uniqueness, but still has its own government type, and it's going to give you a bunch of pretty big ways to play the game. There's some other things like the machine foresters, which are nice, but otherwise, if you want to be a robot hive mind, then go for it. But I think price-wise, the DLCs that give a government type, it gives both more with the type and other stuff in the pack. 4 is the optional stuff. For that, for one reason or another, maybe it has something to do with the price ratio content. They aren't bad, but maybe it has something that isn't as universal as the other DLCs. Although there are some of my favorite ones in here. Intro likes more archaeological stuff with precursor Civilization. You get a strong orange room. Well, you also get a Utopia, but it's better with this DLC since you actually get the resources and tech associated with it. And it gives a nice range of new weapons and buildings for, just really useful. And the precursor paths, which are consistent to get some stuff like relics. And over just adds a healthy amount of archaeology and exploration. While I think it is lacking a little bit of content because it's older, I'll give it a pass for that. I'm just gonna put the rest of the species back here because they're all about the same in quality. And unlike something like Sitting Down, which I don't really like, but no plenty of people do, the species packs are up to taste. I like a quality humanoids over mostly for the civic and tradition, which is the best out of all of these gameplay wise and planetary. The rest are good. It just depends on do you like the look and theme of it because it's more of a cosmetic you're getting it for generally. First contact, if you have a more narrative focused gameplay and definitely not actual like strong gameplay because all these origins and the civics it offers you will put you at a disadvantage. The civic it gives you for each government type gives you more exploration capability, but start 10 less pops and maybe some starter attacks. The 3 origins you get are both pretty much based off of repelling an alien force, which got you before you kind of like actually at the proper stage to be spacefaring. And they all put you at a disadvantage. So if you want something that's a pretty like good narrative, but and like have a sort of like David Goliath type of field or something, just a challenging start, then it's a really good DLC to get for that. Also, you get stealth tech and like cloaking, all of that, so you can actually do some kind of behind the scenes, go behind enemy lines and survey planets, see what's going on. So it's also that too. Apocalypse, big cannon, make planets go boom. Do you want to throw your external around fancy? Well, here we could do with this DLC. New Titan ship, triple size of a battleship that provide buffs to your whole fleet or debuffs to your enemy fleet. This is a DLC of big weapons. Do you wanna blow thing up with big cannon? Do you want to drown the world in a big deluge? Do you want to shoot a cannon that makes everyone believe in faith, a spiritualist? Do you want to shoot your own planet? You could do it. A tradition tree focus on defense, although some iconic as well, since you get more star-based capacity, the ability to abduct people with Ascension perk, and Civic Marauder, which are space barbarians apparently / pirates, with Mega Crisis, which usually the moment it appears gets curbs on. It's overall, it's pretty good. It's mostly to make things go big boom. Which triggers my brain into paying $20 for this, which mind you, so is Federations and Utopia. Tier 5, I don't recommend either because it's quite overpriced or it's not like that great or anything really at all content wise. And I'm not saying don't get these ever, but unless you have like the money to spare and really have all of the DLC, then you can get these. It could be in the optional stuff, but it's only $20 price tag puts these here. The Astral Rifts are basically big archaeological sites, while the Astral Actions are cool, giving various benefits. Not really like super that interesting, at least to me. You get a single origin, which gives you an astral from home system, a tech to explore at the start. 4 civics are pretty good, although I actually think the best one has at least to do with exploring fully enough. And some new relics in this, maybe along like the line of $10. I think this would still, it would still be overpriced, but in terms of Paradox pricing, it would be a bit more fair. It's not too bad of a DLC. It's just the fact that it costs $20 for this. Nemesis, while becoming a crisis is fun, that pretty much is it. This is actually, you do get some unique stuff with the special Crevette and Cruiser and Destroyer and all that, but besides aesthetic, they just cost minerals to make instead of alloys, and they do have double the base stats for durability, although still the same otherwise. You get Star Eaters, which eat stars, which the ultimate goal is to nuke the universe, and you get the Century Tradition, which is bad because spy networks aren't very useful, and it's what the tradition is based off of. Nemesis, it's alright. I do like Become the Crisis, but again, $20. Federations in Utopia is also $20. You just don't get that much. If you really want to become a crisis, and go ahead and buy it, but yeah, it's just this doesn't have enough content for me. Also, the ship set is pretty cool. The Imperial ship set, it does look pretty cool, but otherwise it's nah. Distant Stars more anomalies, and the Elcos, which is like a whole invention based thing around this area that's always spawns. Cool thing to explore. Some nice little additional things you get when you go through some other stuff like leaders or like resources or whatnot. But you also get some more life and some 6 spaceports. It's fine. It's an oldie for shows and doesn't really add that much for what you're getting for. Again, could get it, but I get it out to get the other stuff. Leviathan is old and doesn't have that much. While the portraits are indeed cute, the things it offers is just, and the War Heaven, yeah, sure, it's cool if you make it that far, because it sometimes doesn't happen. The Enclaves, useful, but no new civics or origins. You also get Leviathan, as the name says, and yeah, it's the oldest DLC. It shows it. You don't really need it. You can get it if you want, but anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have tried out DLC Do you agree? What should be moving around off this list and why? And yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye now.